Howdy Athens. It's Tuesday, April 21st. I'm Seth Sumner with your daily COVID-19 update. It's good to be with you today on this beautiful sunny afternoon. We'll start, of course, with the Tennessee Department of Health data. And congratulations, McMinn County, we are still only at 6. Only 6 COVID positive persons throughout this entire pandemic so far. Keep it up, guys. You're doing a great job because you're doing your part by staying apart. So what we talked about daily, and even yesterday, we looked at this surge week last week that was projected to be much worse than it ended up being. Although we did have this one day, April 14th, where our death rate spiked and hit its only time that it's been in the double digits as far as an increase in daily activity. Went up 14% to 15 total deaths. But everything since then we see has fell much short of that, and that we can be appreciative to everything that you're doing by staying at home and by using proper hygiene and by social distancing. All of those things that you are doing is making a difference, and it is saving lives. That's important for us to keep in mind. So now, total hospitalized, we looked at our resources. We've seen where they were projected to go if we didn't get a handle on this virus. And we are way short of that, which is a great thing. That means our resources have not been stressed during this entire pandemic. Only 760 of the total cases, and I did not show you total cases. Let me back up here. Total cases, 7,394. Only 760 of those have had to be hospitalized. So that is a good thing. That means most Tennesseans who are contracting COVID-19 are recovering, are making full recoveries from that. There are now 157, only an addition of 5 deaths, which we don't want to occur. We want to make sure that those who are contracting COVID-19 are able to make a full recovery. We have the resources to help that if that's at all possible. But we know that this has a great effect on our elderly, on our seniors, on our vulnerable populations, especially folks that have underlying health conditions already and contract COVID. They have a higher likelihood of dying. That's why it's so important for you to keep doing what you're doing by staying apart and doing everything you can to help that vulnerable population get the resources they need without them being exposed to other people or to COVID-19. So get this clicker rolling again. Recovered, looking at 52% of all cases now are showing full recovery. 3,828 cases now recovered. We have only 2% of the COVID-19 persons have died from complications due to the virus, and that is, again, at 157 people. We were just over 100,000 tests yesterday. Now we're showing over 108,000 tests across the state of Tennessee. Now this and the McMinn County numbers that I'll show you last do not count for the 334 tests that we did at the drive-thru this past Sunday. That was a tremendous outpouring of folks that wanted to be tested, and everyone that wanted to got tests. Now, if you are watching right now and you weren't able to join us Sunday, but you are considering being tested, if you would like to be tested, then you need to go to the McMinn County Health Department Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon. 9 a.m. to noon, and you can get a free COVID-19 test, and you will get your results back in a few days from that test. But we are ramping up our testing. We're making sure that everybody that wants to be tested is able to get that test now. So that's important that we're able to have factual data, not just I have some symptoms or I don't have any symptoms, because you can be asymptomatic and still carry COVID-19. If you're not showing symptoms and you're carrying COVID-19 and you're not tested to know whether you have it or not, you could come in contact with a senior citizen or an elderly member of our community, or someone who's already in a vulnerable place due to other health conditions, and you could be the reason that they get COVID-19. And then we don't want you to be that reason that they die or have further complications. This is very serious. We have to make sure that we're protecting those populations of people, and nobody wants to be that person that had COVID-19 and didn't get tested and didn't report it and then passed it on, and because of that somebody meets an untimely death because it was shared with them. Don't be that person. If you want to get tested, get tested. That's going to make sure that we know exactly who has it and who does not have it in our population, and we can make sure that you get quarantined, that you get protected, and that means we prevent further deaths, and we prevent this virus from spreading, even to healthy people. Healthy people don't need to be getting this right now. McMinn County, here we go, still 4 fully recovered, 6 total COVID positive cases in McMinn County, so we still have 2 people we're lifting up in prayer. We're hoping for their full recovery in the days ahead. We want to see that happen. And now 587 tests. This does not count the 334 we did Sunday. So that is certainly over 1,000 tests, which we're not showing right here yet, but over 1,000 tests conducted here in McMinn County, which is a good portion of our population. So keep up the testing, keep being safe, use good hygiene, do your part, and stay apart. Thank you. Let me close this down, and we'll go ahead and get situated for our special guest today. All right. So today I have Miss Bradi Sewell, who is the CEO and Executive Director of the Athens-McMinn Family YMCA. It's wonderful to have you with us. We've been talking about the work that the YMCA has been doing for a while on the daily updates, helping to supplement some of the food programs, but you're doing so much more than that. Bradi, for us to get started, there may be folks out there that aren't familiar with the YMCA, what your mission is, and some of the great work that you do in our community. Would you mind just informing us? What is the YMCA?
I will. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here and to be included, to be able to be a part of what the city's doing, and I think that this is such a great program to get the real data and messaging out to everyone in our community, and then to also be able to highlight so many of the wonderful things that different organizations and businesses are doing right now. It's truly been a testament to who we are as the friendly city. So the Athens-McMinn Family YMCA has been here for a little over 65 years now, and that we've evolved into many different things over the years. So a lot of people, when they think about the Y, they think about the gym, the wellness center, the fitness center, the pool, but we really are, and we do so much more than that. That really is a portion of what we do. When the YMCA started here, that was really exclusively what we did, because at that time, that was the biggest community need, was a place for people to work out, a place for people to have recreation opportunities, and a place for people to swim. But our mission is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. And why we exist is to strengthen our community. And so at different times in different times, that need changes, just like what we're kind of seeing right now. So some of the programs that we do outside of our fitness center We offer after-school care. We do summer fun camp. Those are day camps so that parents can continue to work. We also have a food program that operates year-round, and we go out in the community and serve meals in different neighborhoods all over McMinn County, and especially here in Athens, to just make sure that we're giving nutritional meals to kids when school's out, and those are dinner. We do dinner during the school year and lunches and breakfast during the summer months. And then additionally, we also provide some sort of activity for them to do. So that could be an arts and crafts activity, it could be an exercise opportunity, it could be programming for them to take home. But the idea is that we build strong relationships with them and get to know them and their family. And just the relationships that our staff are able to build when they're out there, it truly is just getting to get proximate with our neighbors and learn about their situations really does make a huge difference. Additionally, a lot of people know or have heard about our YCAP program, but it's YMCA Community Action Project, and it's an intervention and prevention program for at-risk youth who are referred through the juvenile court system or through their local school. And we do lots of different things: tutoring, mentoring, group counseling, STEM projects, art projects with the Art Council. It's a project where it really is a community action project. It pulls in so many different businesses and organizations to just pour into these kids' lives, which is a huge, we've seen a lot of huge successes come out of that. Obviously, there are so many, like I could sit here and keep naming these off, but the big thing is we never turn anyone away because of their ability or lack of ability to pay. We financial assistance or scholarship everyone, and we always say, like, if you get a scholarship opportunity and you still can't afford it, come back to us. Like, we want to have you here with us and for you to be a part of us. So that is what we do in a nutshell. I mean, we obviously have our wellness opportunities, our group exercise classes, which I can't say enough about our instructors and our staff that lead those. And our equipment, if you haven't seen it in a while, we've updated our equipment, our cardio room, our wellness floors. We're closed right now, obviously, but hopefully soon we'll be open again. But right now, with us closing our doors because of the COVID pandemic, we have shifted our focus quite a bit.
Yes.
And we did originally have to shut down our after-school care programs just because of recommendations that were coming down to us. But one of the things that we didn't stop doing was we didn't stop feeding kids in the community. And in fact, we ramped that up quite heavily, and we're now in several different mobile home neighborhoods all over town in McMinn County. And then we're also in the neighborhoods that we've always served in, like Forest Hills, Lee Manor, Ridgetop Apartments, Clem Jones, the YMCA. We've always had that as a site as well. And so we're still in those areas, and we have a long list of our different sites that we're going to and delivering meals to on a daily basis. So that is one. And then just Monday, we actually opened up for emergency childcare through a partnership with the Tennessee Department of Human Services.
And we mentioned that yesterday. I saw the press release come out first thing, actually just yesterday, releasing that information. Yeah. And I know I had to click on that, pull it up, and read all about it. Tell us what that child care program, what that is going to do, and who that is going to be helping.
So our emergency child care program is for essential workers. And that is the intention of the program, because we were hearing a lot, and I know that the governor and the state was just hearing a lot about, we have workers that with school being out, with school being closed, with child care facilities being closed, we don't have a place for our kids to go so that we can go work in our hospitals and in our grocery stores. And the other thing they were hearing was, I maybe do have a relative, but they're a vulnerable population. And so when I come home and expose them because they're out in the community serving our community in those essential worker categories, then they are worried about exposing a grandparent or someone who may be in that vulnerable category that puts them at higher risk. So YMCA's across the state of Tennessee actually came together for this, so every YMCA in the state of Tennessee actually is a part of this program.
Okay.
And we actually went in partnership with the Tennessee Department of Human Services to offer the program for free for essential workers. So essential workers is defined as anything in Executive Order 22, which is the best way to describe it because there are so many different classifications of what an essential worker is in that. But obviously with a focus of healthcare workers, grocery workers, utility workers, government workers, those things. So.
Okay. And so tell us a little bit more about this child care program. How was that even possible during this time where a lot of places are closed down and we're told to stay at home except for those essential workers? So how were you able to manage a child care program during this time?
So at the end of March, I actually reached out to the Department of Human Services to apply for an emergency child care, what they're calling a registration. And so as part of that, they go through our experience with taking care of kids in our after-school care programs and our summer camps and just talk to us about the policies and safety measures that we have in place already when you take COVID out of the equation, what those are to make sure that you can handle the taking care of kids in this crazy time. So we went through that process and we submitted all of our staff's information for background checks that the Tennessee department did, and those are in-depth, and we waited to get our approval and our registration, and we got that back. And then obviously in partnership with all the YMCAs in the state of Tennessee, we wanted to make sure that the care that we were offering in McMinn County matches what's offered in Davidson County and Knoxville. And all of our YMCAs were offering that same level of care with child safety at the core, because we want to make sure that the kids in our care are safe. And so we started going through process recommendations from the Tennessee Department of Human Services and then CDC recommendations for child care in these situations, and started implementing those processes. And we've been training our staff quite heavily over the last few weeks. So we're doing temperature checks when kids arrive, wellness questionnaires every day. We do a temperature check at lunch, a temperature check right before they leave. We're doing temperature checks for all staff as soon as they enter the building, and they're going through a list of a wellness check as well. And then obviously we're trying to practice social distancing as much as possible with 5 and 6 year olds, but we are limiting our group size for 8 kids to 2 staff members. So at the YMCA, we require that 2 staff members are with a group of kids at all times, and that's our policy. The Department of Human Services wanted 1 to 20, which that doesn't take into account COVID. So we actually adjusted our numbers to be 2 to 8, which is a lot. That's a heavier staff load for us to carry, but we just feel like it's the best way to keep kids safe while they're in our care. So, and we do a drive-through drop-off, so parents pull up, they call a number when they arrive, staff member comes out, gets the kid out of the car, signs them in, and then takes them into a separate entrance where all of the kids are coming and going from, and then the same thing at drop-off or pickup. So we're doing that obviously to limit traffic in and out of the building as much as possible. So
yeah, so you don't have folks walking too close to each other. Maybe a cough occurs. So you are being very cautious to protect not only the child's health and your workers' health, but the overall public health as well.
Right.
Very good movements there. So not only taking care of the child care, but you are still providing meals to a certain population in our area. How many meals are you serving, and what does that process look like?
So right now we're serving about 1,000 meals a week, and those are all packed at the Y. We get a food delivery weekly. That food comes in, and then our staff packs that, and we deliver those in our YMCA vans that you may see around town all the time with our logos on the side. and they go in with their masks, and we're doing a lot of different heavy sanitation stuff as we're taking those in and delivering those and packing those. And they're taking those by, and it's a drop and go in the neighborhoods where it's kind of like drive-through method, but they're walking up to the Y van, getting the meal, and going on. And then we actually have a drive-through at the Y every day where people can drive through to the front door from 4 to 5 p.m. and we're providing a meal there. So, and they're nutritional meals. So there's vegetables in there, fruit cups, milk. There's always a sandwich that can be heated up or it can be eaten cold, but everything is designed to be as healthy as possible, and so we have that going on right now, which is crazy to think that we are moving that much food out of the YMCA every day. But
yeah. And I know Athens City Schools, I know through yesterday they were looking at having served over 60,000 meals during the pandemic so far. How many meals are you seeing go through the Y?
So I would say probably at this point we're around 6,000 just from all of the different ways, because there have been a lot of changes in the program,
sure,
obviously, with everything that's going on. So I would say probably around 6,000.
Wow.
Which is way more than what we normally serve. And I mean, obviously we're hitting a different area, and we're just doing dinner. So we're not doing the breakfast and lunch portion. But we do have close contact with Athens City Schools and McMinn County Schools to make sure that we're dividing and conquering. And we were on a call with McMinn County earlier this week just to see, making sure different parts of the county are covered and taken care of. And we get calls all the time for new sites and neighborhoods that we hadn't considered where transportation, that's the big thing for us, is we're going in areas where transportation is harder. There may be kids that are staying at home while their parents work, and they can't get out to get a meal, or transportation just may not be an option for them. So we're going into those areas where that barrier exists, but we're kind of trying to push through with the resources that we have to get those there to those folks.
And I know that's making a difference in people's lives that really need that resource, really need that meal. And I know the children may be able to get breakfast and lunch taken care of, but what about dinner? And the Y is stepping up to provide that.
Yes.
Incredible. And you told us about the areas where you are serving these meals, getting into the neighborhoods, and especially looking into those areas of our community that may be more affected, and transportation's not as good as it needs to be, and so you're able to get in there and make sure that the meals are still delivered.
Yes.
What does now with the governor looking at a May 1st reopening? I know this has got to be on your mind day and night. What does going back to an open Y look like? What does a YMCA being open under a May 1st reopening date, knowing that we still have COVID-19, knowing that there are no vaccines? There's got to be some things that you're doing today that continue, and then you still are going to be looking at a different. It's not going back to normal, is it? It's looking at a new service model that is something different than it is today and different than it was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, and a big part of who we are is our group exercise classes, which obviously that was one of the first things that we had to kind of scale back on when COVID really started becoming prevalent in Tennessee. And so we have been doing a lot of virtual offerings. Like we have a virtual, basically a YMCA virtual page on our website that anyone can go to, and there are lots of free resources there. There are bar classes and yoga classes that you can do on your own from home with little to no equipment. And then we've also still been getting together some of our classes on Zoom. to where members can actually sign up to be with one of our YMCA instructors on a Zoom class, and they are doing the group exercise classes at home. So that's something that we're doing now. When we open May 1st, and I was on a call about this yesterday with all the CEOs in the state of Tennessee. It's something that YUSA has really been equipping us with resources on what does a new Y look like in the midst of COVID, because it's not going to be the same. It's not going to look the same. And it really is going to change our operating model. Staff are going to be repositioned into more cleaning cleaning responsibilities to make sure that we can turn over the facility as new traffic comes in. And a huge part of what we do is group stuff. So that's one thing that I still don't have all the answers. Our staff yesterday, we were kind of bouncing some questions off of each other. Well, what is going to happen with this, and what is going to happen with this? And we're like, we're going to have to sit in the room and hash out all these things to figure it out. And then the other thing is, I also just feel like there's this part of it that we need feedback from the community. What do you expect it to look like? Because we can have these ideas in our head and say, come back on May 1st, but if our community's not ready for that, then it doesn't matter. And so we're going to really rely on our members and our community to tell us, like, what do you want to see, and what do you expect from a safety standpoint, and how can we make you feel safe when you come in and engage with us? So, and then also, how can we make sure that we're keeping our staff safe, and the people that do come into our building, because that's one of our most important things, is we want to keep everybody safe. But we also know that exercise, like, people miss that. People need that for not just their physical well-being, but for their mental well-being. And so we know that that's a huge part in going back to a new normal, is giving people the chance to work out and exercise in ways that work for them, because not everybody is meant to work out from home.
That's right.
So it'll be interesting. I don't have the answer yet, but there are conversations taking place, and we're looking forward to get ideas and recommendations from the community that we can take into account as we start planning our new operation model. So, but I know it will look different.
Yeah, we know it's going to be different. A lot of things are going to be different in our lives moving forward, even after reopening a lot of businesses that are closed. It's not necessarily going back to what it used to be. It's going to be different because we'll still be under the threat of COVID-19. You talked about asking the community, and that's what we're about. We're about the community approach. We want to know what our stakeholders, what our partners, what our friends and neighbors and church family, what do you want to see? And so I love that you're asking that. I know there's some folks with some great ideas out there. I love using Kenneth Blanchard quote that none of us are as smart as all of us.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
I can't think of, I don't have all the great ideas, but together we can have all the great ideas. I know there's some great ideas out there that might be beneficial to you, and maybe even to us here at the Friendly City.
Right.
How do they connect with YMCA?
So we have a Facebook page. It's Athens-McMinn Family YMCA. If you look up Athens YMCA, you will actually be in Athens, Georgia. We have that happen a lot, where people go to Athens YMCA Facebook page and they'll call, and it's actually in Georgia. So, and we've had people sign up for swim lessons in Georgia before, and then they get transferred back here. So yes, just go to Athens-McMinn Family YMCA. You can engage with us there. You can call us. We have staff there daily answering the phone Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. But also, if you leave a voicemail, we get that to our email, and someone will call you back within an hour. If it's during business hours, we're very good about checking those voicemails and making sure to get back with people as quickly as possible. And then also email us, info@athensmcminnymca.org, and we will get back with you on that. And then you can always check out our website, and there are lots of different ways that you can engage with us there as well. So.
Wonderful. Thank you, and I hope you do that. Are there other ways that the community can be helpful towards be a partner with the YMCA right now?
I mean, the biggest thing is, what are the other needs that in our community that aren't being met? And how can we, and it may not be that the YMCA can meet that, but we can connect with other nonprofits to figure out a way. One thing just this week, one thing that came up is we're going to be partnering with the food bank in Chattanooga, and we'll have bags of food to distribute to people that come to our feeding program. We'll be able to distribute that, and it's actually food that will be cooked and things like that. So we'll have some exciting information about that, and that just came about as a need. We talked with Athens City Schools this week about getting those educational packets and sending those out with our meals. So ideas that people have of needs that are out there that aren't being met, we would love to hear that, and we would love to connect. Obviously, prayers are great because we're doing a lot of different things in a lot of different ways, and we don't have all the answers right now, and I don't have all the answers right now, and so just praying that for our community, praying for the people that we serve, praying for the kids out of school that are not always in the best situations. That's something that's been heavy on our hearts. As a staff at the Y, we've prayed over those kids a lot. And then also just our seniors that are a big part of who we are, and they're at home and scared, and we've been calling in and checking in with them, but we miss seeing them, so praying for them. And then obviously, right now with us being closed, we're asking our members to stay with us and continue to be a member at the Y so that we can open up and be stronger than ever. And we're working on plans for when we do reopen of how we can kind of give back to our members who have stuck with us through this time, because that is so important. We've been able to do all these things and reposition our work because of our members staying with us and because of our donors who have stayed with us. And so that's always important. And because of the United Way, I can't leave them out. So those are some big ways. And then we have been collecting donations for the Hamilton Place YMCA in Chattanooga, but as a tornado relief. So that is something that you can go on our Facebook page and learn more about. We've been collecting those, and I'm going to get those with their executive director, Lee Montgomery, who lives here in town this evening, so that he can take those and distribute those to their volunteer and distribution center. So those are some ways that you can partner with us right now, and we would love for you to partner with us, and hopefully we'll have some more ways of volunteer opportunities and things like that as we start reinventing our operation model soon.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Brady. Is there any other message that you'd like to share with everybody watching and listening?
The biggest thing is I'm just so proud to be a part of this community, and all that I've seen everyone kind of partner together and work together. And if one positive thing comes from this COVID thing, it's just how everybody's taking care of one another and loved on each other and partnered together in new ways that I hope and I believe will be sustainable for a long time. And that gives me a lot of hope for our community, for my kids, and for the kids that we serve at the Y. So I'm excited to see where that takes us.
I am too. That is a beautiful thing about the Friendly City. In times of need, how well we come together, and we'd love to see that sustained even in times where we're not under a pandemic or a tornado or those kind of things. And I think I do see that happening in our community. Let's keep this up. Wonderful. Thank you very much for all the work that you're doing to help take care of the vulnerable people in our community and make sure they're getting the basic things that they need, and the friendship and the learning that they need to grow and learn and feel like they're part of the Friendly City. I know that makes a difference in a lot of children's lives, especially. Thank you, Brady.
Thank you. And I want to say real quick, thank you to our staff too, because none of this would be possible without the 100 people that work at the YMCA, who are all amazing and who literally pour their heart into our mission. and it is so much more to them than just a job, and that's been evident in all of this. So I love our staff. We're a big old family, and I'm so proud of them and how they've all come together when it's been scary. I mean, it really has been scary at times to think, oh, I need to go to work and take care of in this vulnerable situation, and I'm just so proud of them and all of that. So
good job. Good job. Keep up the great work. All right. Thank you, Brady. I do have a few other announcements I'll share with you before we wrap today. We do have the Athens Economic Recovery Team is at work now. That is through the Council Advisory Committee with the help of Chairwoman Patty Greek, and also teaming up with Main Street Athens to make sure that we're paying attention on the responsible ways that we can help our community come together from the economic standpoint of reopening our businesses and maintaining the good lessons that we've learned through this pandemic, and making sure that we continue to protect public health, but we can get, which is starting to be evident here, but we can get our hair cut. We can go and visit all of those businesses that we depend on, that are high touch, that have been closed during this time. So that's coming in the days ahead, and we'll be sharing more and more about that with you. There's also been an announcement from the state of Tennessee that most of our state parks are going to be reopening on April 24th. And so they will be open only for daytime use. I don't think they'll be doing any camping and things of that nature just yet. But we will be able to get back into our public parks as soon as April 24th. And so that's coming from the state. And then we have talked about Governor Lee's plan. He has an economic recovery group, the ERG, that is working right now, building the plans, putting them together to roll out in the next few days of how we're going to reopen business across the state of Tennessee and make sure our folks that have been furloughed or have lost their jobs during this time can get back to work. Because our factories still need to be working, our businesses still need to be going, and I know that we're going to have a good kickoff in the next few weeks to really see things start rolling back the way that they were before the pandemic. So stay in contact with that. Tomorrow I'll have a special guest on the update as well. Coming from the region, the Southeast region, the Regional Department of Health, is Mr. Glenn Zarnacki. So he will be here to give you, straight from the Department of Health, an overview of what their response and their hands-on approach to helping protect Tennesseans across our 10-county region has looked like. So happy to be able to have him with us. And then Mr. Kevin Lane with Coordinated Charities will be on Thursday. So tune in. We'll see you back here on the daily COVID-19 update tomorrow. And may God bless you. May God bless Athens.